everyone, and welcome to the 32nd episode of MSME Masterclass. I am privileged to introduce our esteemed speaker for today's webinar, Mr. Prashanth Bharadwaj, Head of Design and Construction at Kshipra Imagineers, a seasoned structural engineer with over 2 decades of comprehensive structural analysis and design expertise. With a robust background spanning across various sectors, including oil and gas, power projects, and industrial and commercial ventures, our speaker brings with a wealth of experience and insight to the table. His entrepreneurial journey, co-founding Kshipra Imagineers, reflects his visionary approach and dedication to pushing the boundaries of structural engineering. From humble beginnings in 2012 to steadily establishing a reputation for excellence in the industry, his journey epitomizes innovation, perseverance, and unwavering commitment to excellence. Prashanth has effectively led project teams and managed deliverables with finesse, a testament to his leadership acumen. Additionally, his role in vendor engineering review underscores his commitment to ensuring quality and precision in every project undertaken. Please join me in warmly welcoming Prashanth, our distinguished speaker, whose expertise and insights will enrich today's webinar session. Welcome to MSME Masterclass, Prashanth. We are pleased to have you.
Thank you.
Today's topic is wire rod applications in the construction industry. And our first question to you, Prashanth, is what are the primary types of wire rods used in the construction industry and what are their specific applications?
There are various types of wire rods like carbon steel, stainless steel, and then you have alloy steel, then reinforced wire bars, that means the rebars, and also the galvanized wire rods, and also copper wire rods. Each of them have their specific uses. Okay, for example, carbon steel we use for nails and screws and for springs and wire ropes. And alloy steel we use for automotive equipments. Similarly, if you go to stainless steel, we use it for kitchen equipment, for example, knife, spoon. And for reinforcement, as many of us know, it will be used in the construction industry majorly, rods, 10 mm rod, 12 mm rod, 16 mm rod. And then we have galvanized wire rods, which are used for specific uses like fencing, power lines. And we have copper wire rods, which are like for electrical wiring and motor wiring, transformers, all those things.
Okay, and Prashanth, how does the quality of wire rods impact the strength and durability of construction materials and structures?
Yeah, see, as any other metal, wire rods also has some physical properties like the tensile strength, ductility, corrosion resistance, fatigue resistance, and then bonding with concrete or consistency with the metal which it is used, like that. So if we go to the tensile strength, for example, it will give you greater strength. Okay, and also it will support heavier loads. You can take an example of a rubber band. We can stretch it and it will come back to its original position. That is something in a common layman's language, it is the tensile strength. Okay, ductility means how much we can bend it. For example, if you take a scale and if you try to bend it, it will bend and come back to its original position. But we cannot do the same with any other material. So it has got ductile properties also, which is very much important in terms of earthquake engineering. Because in earthquake, what will happen is the building will try to drift, what we call it, will try to sway. So the ability of this material to withstand that sway, it gives an edge for the industry. And also for the corrosion resistance. For example, if we use a normal rebar with good corrosion resistant property in construction industry, it will last long. Okay, if it is not exposed to any environmental condition, it will last hundreds of years. Okay, and also fatigue resistance. Fatigue resistance, I mean to say, it is not generally used in Indian scenario, but fatigue is the one which we call it a cyclic movement. So, for example, if you have a motor which will move, rotate, or it will sway, something like that, that is called a cyclic motion. So this material will have a lot of capacity to withstand repeated motion. Okay, and then it has got very good bond with concrete, meaning that once we put this along with the concrete, the structure will be safe and stable.
Okay, understood. And Prashanth, how do wire rod manufacturing technology advancements improve construction efficiency and safety?
Like I said before, it will enhance the strength and utility of the product. Okay, and it can take much higher loads. Okay, and then corrosion resistance will be very much improved, and then it can be used for any tailor-made applications, like we can say aircraft, or you can say in a space station, whatever the case may be. Okay, and also like since the process nowadays is very faster, the material can be produced much quickly, so that the demand can be met.
Got it. And Prashanth, the most important aspect of this is the regulatory standards and certifications. So, what kind of regulatory standards and certifications must wire rod manufacturers adhere to in India, and how should they ensure that the product quality and safety is maintained?
Like we have BAS, Bureau of Indian Standards. With all the wire rods had to adhere with the Bureau of Indian Standard requirements. Along with that, if they are certified with ISO, then it is very good. So every other person will look for these aspects when they want to purchase, whether it is individually or whether it is a company wise, whether it is an infrastructure project, any project, they will look for it, whether it is BIS certified as well as whether it is the company is ISO certified.
Got it. And how do wire rod suppliers work with construction companies to provide tailored solutions for specific projects and requirements?
They have to actually consult with the requirement of the customer, and they have to make it suit to their needs. That's what I call it as tailor-made. Okay. Suppose for the residential building, they will not require higher dia rods. They will require smaller dia rods. Okay. And for infrastructure project, the higher dia rods will come. So they have to consult with the client and see what is his or her requirement is. And also according to the requirement, they have to customize. Say for example, industry person, whatever dealer is here in the local place, if he does not have say 25 mm rod, so if there is a need by the customer, so he has to be in a position to cater to that requirement, and he has to contact his main dealer. He has to consult, he has to discuss with him, and he has to get the product on time. So that is the thing. And suppose if that particular thing is not available at the local market, he has to get people who have technical expertise to see for any alternatives if it is available. Okay, and then testing facility should be there nearby, so that whatever material they are getting, they test it very often. Okay, and then main thing will be supply chain management, so that the material comes to the site or factory on time every day.
Prashant, because you were talking about testing, could you explain a little bit more on the lines of why is testing so important?
See, anything for that matter, whether it is a software or whether it is a hardware or anything, if somebody does, it has to be tested. It is not that whether it is man-made or whether it is machine-made, whatever, the product has to be tested. Otherwise, the quality might be there or might not be there. We are not sure. So both BIS as well as ISO, they lay certain standards that so and so lot of material. If you produce, you have to test some amount of it. That is called sampling, and then that sample has to be tested and certified. Okay.
Understood.
And if that is not done, say if that is not done, then everything in the supply chain will go haywire. Because suppose now I am asking for a 25 mm rod, and that 25 mm rod, whatever I am getting in the market, if it is not as per the requirement, then I have to wait for the correct material to come. That will delay my product. So it will be hitting the supply chain, it will be hitting the quality, it will be increasing the transportation cost. So for example, if I bring a material of say 25 millimeter and it is not as per my requirement, then I have to send it back. Whether I pay the transportation cost or whether the vendor pays the transportation cost, the cost is there. Okay. So then also it will impact the inventory management, because I am having an inventory of the material which I don't want. It's not useful, right?
Correct.
So and then again it will lead to some logistic coordination problem. ये नहीं आया, वो नहीं आया, अभी आज नहीं आएगा, कल आएगा. And in bigger plants, every day counts.
Right. And Prashanth, what are the common challenges that are faced by construction companies with regards to sourcing, transportation, and handling of fire rods?
Like I said, it will have all these supply chain management problems, quality issues, transportation issues, and then waste of time, energy, everything. The overall project cost will go up. All those things will come.
And how do wire rod specifications vary based on the specific requirements of different construction projects, like residential buildings, commercial complexes, or infrastructure projects for that matter?
See, as I said, wire rod will have ductility. It has got its own strength, fatigue strength, whatever. Okay, we have to choose what material we require for that site. For example, if I go for a durability, so if I think of durability, for residential building it will be like moderate strength. For commercial building it will be high strength. And for infrastructure, which are like railway bridges, highway bridges, something like that, then the highest strength and durability should be there. And same thing will hold good for corrosion resistance, as well as the diameter of rod. As I told you earlier, the diameter of rod will not be much in this one, residential buildings. But as you go higher, bigger the projects, your requirement for the material will be on a higher side. Okay, and also depending on the regulatory compliance, we have to cater to that also. Usually local codes will be applicable for residential, and commercial, the same codes, it will be little bit stringent. And then for infrastructure projects, we have to not only cater to the local, we have to cater to the national requirement as well. For example, railways, if you go to railways, they will have a separate standards as compared to normal roads or buildings. So we have to abide by their rules and regulations. Okay, something like that.
Got it. Prashanth, you were mentioning about corrosion-free, wire rods. How and why is corrosion-free product more important?
See, if you go with the corroded product or less quality product, what will happen eventually? The material will deteriorate very fastly. So, and it will not serve the desired life. Suppose if for example, if I go to a supermarket and I buy some X material, and I think that it will last for 2 years, 3 years. Suppose if that material is inferior, it will last for only 1 year. So my investment was, I was thinking that I will use it for 3 years, but I could use it only for 1 year. So I'm at loss. I'm at loss means what will I think about the company from which I brought that material? Or this company is not that great, means this company does not produce good product. So eventually, when I go buy for the next time, I will not go to that company or that brand. Okay, so corrosion is the main thing as far as the steel rods are concerned. If it is stainless steel, no issues. But if it's a carbon steel and other states, the corrosion is the main problem. Even if we give sufficient cover to our reinforcement in our design, still there are many places where we have found that due to chemical attack and all those things, corrosion happens. But the material has to be such that it has to resist that corrosion for a longer time.
Understood. And these products, which are corrosion free, are typically used in all sorts of structures that are built around, or select ones?
Usually all of them.
All of them?
Yes.
Okay. And Prashanth, can you discuss with our attendees any of the recent case studies or success stories showcasing the benefits of wire rods in large-scale construction projects in India?
Yeah, any latest development, what you see in India, like the signature bridge in Delhi, and then Mumbai Metro Rail, and the Gift City in Gujarat, and Bombay Worli Ceiling in Mumbai, and then many residential projects, the big high-rise buildings like Yoda Group and DLF. So all these, in all these projects, the wire rods have been used. For example, the signature bridge, it's a cable-stayed bridge. Cable-stayed bridge means it will stand using the strength of the cables. Cables are nothing but big ropes of steel. So these kind of structures will eventually rest on the strength of the cable. Okay, and for example, in other case, like I said, Mumbai Metro Rail. Mumbai Metro Rail, whatever the pre-stressing or port tensioning, whatever happens, not only in Mumbai Metro Rail, any other infrastructure project, wire ropes play a very important role. Okay, and in many high-rise buildings, you might have seen everywhere. So they use reinforced rods for the concreting.
Got it. In the metro projects, Prashanth, that you were talking about, the infra projects, what is the application of wire rods? Where exactly is it used?
See, in the infrastructure projects, right from the piers, what we call it as the vertical columns, from there till the superstructure, like the deck, everywhere it is used. For example, if you go on a flyover, when you go on a flyover, you will appreciate that the flyover is a elevated structure. It has a column, it has a slab, and it has a continuous beams. All these things, the rods have been used.
Got it. And what role do wire rod distributors and suppliers play in ensuring a reliable supply chain for the construction industry, especially during high demand or market fluctuations?
Come again?
What role do wire rod distribution companies and suppliers play in ensuring a reliable supply chain for the construction industry, especially during high demand and market fluctuations?
They have to again cater to the requirement what they have been asked for. Okay, they have to forecast their inventory, and they have to have a proper plan as to this is what my inventory will be, and this is what my supply to the customer will be. And if there is any case, for example, now we had elections recently, so they have to plan that now from 2 months down the line we'll have election. So there might be some disruptions in the supply. So they have to plan prior and then order to the manufacturer and get it. And they have to maintain that inventory so that they are not at loss, and also the customer gets what he wants at on time. That is one thing. And then they have to have good relationship with the manufacturer as well as customer. Other than that, because if he does not do that, then he'll be at loss eventually. Because the manufacturer will not give you on time if you don't have a good relationship with them, and if you don't pay him on time. And same is the case with the customer as well. Okay, and they have to adapt to the market changes. So, for example, I am a supplier staying in a residential area, and I have rods of 25 millimeter, 32 millimeter, something like that. So that is of no use, because usually that kind of requirement will not come in a residential area. Likewise, if you are in an industrial area, if you are a big supplier, if you are having 8 mm per, 10 mm per, smaller diameters, the quantity of that requirement will be less as compared to bigger diameters. So, so he has to be proactively working with the industry, working with the manufacturer, working with the customer, so that all are in the winning position.
Absolutely, absolutely. And how do architects and structural engineers collaborate with wire rod manufacturers to optimize the design solutions and maximize the structural integrity of buildings and infrastructure?
See, we give a specific requirement as to what we want. For example, there is a material called ductile steel, and there is a normal steel. Okay, so in seismic zones, that means where earthquake is more, we specify ductile steel, ductile rods. In normal scenario, we specify only the normal steel rods. So the cost variation will be there, as well as the material property will also differ. So we have to cater to the requirement of the project. That is one thing. And then we have to customize the requirements. For example, I have to make bar bending schedule to have that this many types of rods is required, and this much quantity, and this much is the timeline for those rods. Okay, and then we have to be involved with some testing agencies as well, so that intermittently, if it's a long, big, heavy project, we have to test on behalf of the client. Okay, because manufacturer will test on behalf of his requirement. We have to test on behalf of the project requirement. That will also be there. So, and if there is, suppose if we require some specialty material, for example, as I said, residential buildings, they require smaller diameters. But in that particular project, if I'm having a requirement of higher diabar or a ductile detailing is required, then I have to proactively tell the architect as well as the other stakeholders that this is the requirement for the design. So please procure that. So something like this.
Got it. And how do government policies and initiatives such as Make in India or infrastructure development projects that have come up impact the demand for wire rods in the construction sector?
See, Make in India is a very great initiative for the local players. Yeah, earlier we have seen China-made item, or we were importing to a larger extent. So now it is not the case. Many of the materials we produce here, so starting from iron ore, anyway, iron ore is like our own natural resource. But earlier we were exporting it more. Now we are using it for the domestic market first, and then we are exporting it. So it will give us an edge over the other countries in terms of we'll be saving the import tax, import cost, everything, and also it will give employment to our youth. So, and for example, in heavy industries, for that matter, heavy industries as well as infrastructure projects, this Make in India has been a boon to most of the people nearby.
Correct.
Okay, so they are getting employment in whether it is an infrastructure project or a manufacturing unit or whatever. Eventually, as a country, we are very much benefited with the Make in India initiative.
Got it. Got it. Prashanth, what is your advice or recommendation that you would like to give to our audience in terms of offerings to construction professionals in India regarding the effective utilization of wire rods to enhance project outcomes and long-term durability?
See, first we have to specify what our requirement is. So if I want some material and if I don't specify it properly, then I will not get that exact material. I will get something else. Again, there will be a problem with the site, there will be a problem with the inventory management, all those sort of things. The project get delayed and all those things. So, and also we have to ensure that quality is there. Whatever product we get, the quality has to be assured. So we have to get it tested intermittently. And also we have to guide the labor class or people involved with that. They might not be fully aware of why we are doing it. Whatever we give as engineers, they will simply use it. But what is the background of using that material or that kind of structure? That we have to give a little bit knowledge to them, so that next time when they do it, they will do it more diligently. Okay, and there won't be any wastage, or it is better to know for anybody what they are doing rather than simply doing it, right?
Correct. Right. Prashanth, my last question to you is about Kshipra Imagineers. We seldom come across company names that have Imagine in their name. We would like to understand from you, how did this name come from, and what is it that Kshipra sort of helps or the people with? What are the offerings?
Okay, coming to the name Kshipra Imagineers, it is a combination of our kids' name, Kshitij and Pranati. Okay, so that's how they coined the name as Kshipra Imagineers. And also there is a river in North India called Kshipra. And also Kshipra in Sanskrit means it is swift, means proactive, do the work swiftly. So that is what Kshipra, the name has come. So we cater to residential, industrial, as well as commercial building consultancy, as well as we also do some small-time construction projects as well. And we are into offshore engineering, oil and gas, onshore, offshore, structural consultancy, both in terms of concrete consultancy as well as steel consultancy. We offer a wide range of services like NDT testing, basically structural, whatever is related to structural engineering. So through our channel partners like architects, electrical engineers, MEP consultants. So we as a whole do turnkey projects in terms of consultancy.
And Prashanth, if you had to tell our audience who are into wire rods a thumb rule or a success one-liner in terms of how should they look at succeeding in their respective businesses, what would that one line be?
Quality and timely delivery.
Lovely. Thank you for your time with us today, Prashanth. We've had a lovely, insightful discussion with you on wire rods.
Thank you.
For our audience, if you have any questions from this session, please feel free to type them in the question section on your Zoom meeting and we will get them addressed. The recording of this, along with all the previously conducted MSME Masterclasses, is on YouTube. So you can go on YouTube, search for GSW1 MSME, and you can also subscribe to our channel if you like these videos. Thank you once again, Prashanth. It was lovely having you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too.